Hello, everyone. I just want to welcome everyone, and I want to give like a minute or two before we get started. Okay, one more minute or two, and we will start the presentation. So just let's give another minute to everyone. Can you please confirm on chat that you can see my screen? Do you mind if someone can respond to it? I want to make sure that there are no interruptions and everyone can see the screen, the presentation. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate the response. Thanks. All right, I think we can start. It's already a few minutes past the hour. I want to make sure that we are all here and people are joining in, as I can see everyone here. The presentation, I will send the link, a link to the presentation after the presentation. If not today, then tomorrow. But we have a lot of stuff to cover. So I would like to start. And first of all, I would like to welcome everyone to 10 Dimensions of Wellness in the Workplace and at Home. And my name is Edyta Satchel. I'm the founder and CEO of Satchel Global Travel Wellness. And I will be talking a little bit about what we do, how we do things later on in the presentation. I'm also a certified integrative nutrition health coach. And let's start. All right, so I started talking a little bit about myself today. As I said, I'm the owner of Satchel Global Travel Wellness. I'm a certified health coach, but I spent 20 years in the travel industry. I was the busy executive traveling and who didn't have a lot of wellness in her life, unfortunately. And a few years ago, I started my own consulting company where I'm consulting corporations and also individuals how to create and implement wellness and travel wellness programs, which are important, right? Because they increase productivity of our employees, health, employee retention, and a lot of other things which are related to health and wellness of our team members. I've been featured in very many publications, as you can see some of them here, and also I've been interviewed on TV a few times talking about travel, talking about wellness. And I want to say that there are two more coming, which are scheduled, two more TV interviews, just because April is the Health and Wellness Month. So we are talking about health and wellness. This is perfect timing. So if you didn't know, April 7th is the World Health Day. And I will be interviewed by Fox 5, Washington, D.C. news station. This is my home news station. I'm in Virginia. I'm super excited about that. And I also will be, for the second time, interviewed by The List, which is a nationally syndicated TV program. And again, we'll be talking about food, drinks, the beauty routines or youthfulness routines that we should have in our life, right? It doesn't matter whether we travel or not. All of us, we need that. All right, so let's move along. What are we talking about today? Today, we're talking about health, wellness, nutrition, emotional well-being, physical wellness, travel wellness. And I created for all of them actually an action steps that you should take when you go back to your companies and you are talking to them internally, to your employees, to your team members, to your managers, and other people who you are working with. Okay, so I want to start with something which actually is quite popular when you are looking at the different, problems related to health and wellness. And those are the top 10 health problems related to working from home. As we know, all of us actually most of us, right? 90% of us are actually working from home. And look at those top 10 health related issues: the burnout, stress eating, right? I mean, people are eating without thinking sometimes, just stressed out. They eat more. They don't pay attention to what they eat. We are constantly on conference calls. We use headsets and other things, right? We may have problems with hearing. We're overworked, stressed out. We gain weight much easier than we would normally do because we don't commute to work anymore. Sometimes we feel lonely. Our health, when it comes to back, also suffers, right? Because we are in the sitting position all the time. Neck problems, same thing, stiffness. And relationship problems, right? Do we have a lot of time with our family? If you think about that, not so much sometimes. All right, so what are the 10 health problems related to working in the office? Because we will be going back to the office. As you can see, some of the problems are actually the same. So it's, again, spending too much time, in front of a computer, looking at small numbers, Excel spreadsheets, and other things, right? The viruses, bacteria contaminations. Everybody's touching your phone, your desks, the restrooms and other things, right? So we need to think about that. Also, we are easier gaining weight as well. We eat, sometimes, again, we don't think about that. We are exposed to frequency, electromagnetic field, which is not only, I talk about it when I do presentations about travel wellness, but also it's the same thing. We're in front of computers, our cell phones and other things that we have, right? Which are important to always keep in mind. All right, so I want to talk today about 10 dimensions of wellness. What are they? As you can see, it's not only about wellness. It's not only about going to the gym. It's more than that. It's the physical wellness, emotional, career, intellectual, nutrition, social, finance, travel, spiritual. And all of them are important in our lives, not only in our lives as we are in our private life, but of course, very important in our business life. Because we have to be happy with what we do, right? If we are happy, we are more productive. We are more productive, we can make more money. Our managers are happy. All of this is connected. So the previous slide was showing 9 dimensions, but the presentation is about 10 dimensions, right? So I want to ask you, and I always talk about the gold, which is that advice that we all need in our life just to see what can we change. What's the 10th dimension of wellness? And if we were in a classroom, I would ask you to basically answer the question, what is the 10th dimension of wellness? And for all of us, this dimension may be different. In my life, it may be, I don't know, I want to be able to do something else in the area of maybe healthy eating, right? Or cooking, or maybe go and learn how to cook. And that may be my wellness. For someone else, it may be a new skill, new class that a person can take, right? In new intellectual skills. For someone else, it may be really something different. So all of us, we have such individual needs, and we need to think about what's important to us. And again, if we were in the classroom, I would ask you to pause for a second and ask yourself the question, what's important to you as a person, as a human being, but also what's important for your employees? When you think about that, what's missing for them? What are you offering today when it comes to wellness? And again, we're talking about 9 of them and plus 1, because each employee may have a different need and different desire. So I just want you to think about that when you go back to your office and or go back to your regular things that you are doing. Okay, so I want to start about talking about nutrition. What does nutrition mean? We will not go through all of them today. We'll focus on just a few, but the first one is nutrition. The very first thing which I want you to think about that is to learn how to read the food labels. This is very important because many times we buy things, whatever we buy, we eat, but we don't pay attention because you see on the box, you can only see it's 250 calories, right? What does it really mean? And calories from fat. Think about how to read what's important. Look at the dietary fiber, which is very important, which you see in blue. All the blue areas are important to us for health and wellness. All the yellow areas, it's sort of, we should be limiting it. Total fat, saturated fat, trans fat, there should be zero. And when you think about it, this is all highly processed food. You see, this particular one is macaroni and cheese, right? Container. So this is highly processed food. When you think about a tomato, a cucumber, how many saturated fat, grams of fat will there be? There will be zero because this food is not processed. So those are things which I really want you to start thinking about when you are doing your daily grocery shopping. All right. When I talk about healthy diet, I don't talk about going on a diet, going through a very difficult diet regime and other things that some people probably would advise. But I talk about different things which are really truly helping us with things when it comes to losing weight, being there, what we want to do, be at our very best shape. So think about home cooking, very important. When you are doing home cooking, look about different things like what you combine, different ingredients, different spices that are important. Think about chewing your food. It's very important because in your mouth, the food is going already through some processes which are starting in your mouth. And then it gets into your stomach and liver and so on and so on. But in your mouth, this already is the beginning of the digestion process. So I want you to think about that when you are chewing. The more bites or chews, however you say it, you take, the better, of course. Don't eat, late at night. When we travel, when we go to conferences, we eat late at night and we don't control it. Stop eating before you are full. 80% is perfectly okay. And on the left-hand side, this is the US. If you go to choosemyplate.gov, this is the US government. This is what they are telling us was the best. And this is also when it comes to portions. As you can see, those veggies, there should be more veggies than fruit, more veggies than grains and proteins, right? The next one is I want to briefly talk about caffeine. And when we think about drinking coffee, we think, coffee, I have a glass or maybe once a week. But look at all the other products on the left that you have that include caffeine. And many, many, many times we give those things to our children. Is it the right thing to do? Probably not, because, even if they have dark chocolate, I love dark chocolate, right? There is a lot of caffeine and we do not sometimes pay attention to it. So look also on the right-hand side, the portions. Keep those portions always in mind when you are thinking about consuming coffee or other products that include caffeine. Let's talk about sugar for a minute. This is the slide which I really love to show to everyone, because when we think about, I love pizza. So how many, calories, how many grams of sugar are there? Look at that. I mean, kale, poor kale, right? Only has 2 of them, which we love. Look at broccoli, but we don't like broccoli too much. We love our bagels. I love bagels, but look how many, ice cubes are there, which is quite important. Then when you see 1 sugar cube equals a teaspoonful of sugar, or it equals 16 grams. So think about, that little bagel, which you may consume every morning, how many calories are already there? Not to mention other things, which I don't even want to talk about, right? One other thing which I get frequently asked about is when we are reading our labels is the added sugar. So think about the sugar when you are looking at, even when you buy those protein bars, when you buy those so-called healthy bars, which everyone loves, think about how much sugar is there when it comes to added sugar. And that's important to remember, because even if it says, there is no sugar, there may be a lot of added sugar as well, a lot of ketchup. Ketchup has, so if you buy ketchup, buy the right bottle, which says on the label says no added sugar. So then you will have natural sugar, but not the artificial sugar, which we don't want in our life. And of course, let's not forget about water. Water is important because water is in every single part of our body. And how much water should we consume? This is important to know. Look at this. Kids for 13 years old need 4 to 8 cups a day. We are 60% of our body is actually made of water. And that's important for all our organs. And those are just a few of them, which are mentioned here. And just keep in mind that water, water, water. So if you have a glass of coffee, a cup of coffee, then you should have 2 glasses of water to compensate for that. So action steps, for all of them, I always like to talk about action steps. What should you do when you go back to your office or daily activities? Think about creating webinars, training, things that you can do for your employees. And it is not about how to go on a diet or how to fast. It's not about that. It's about encouraging them and helping them to have their weight in control, I want to say, in a nice way, right? And be able to not only about weight, but be understand what's good for you, what's not good for you when you are at home, when you are cooking or you are not cooking or you are, ordering food. What's important to you, and even especially when you are doing grocery shopping, what's important to you and what should be important to you. But also you should create fun. It's all about fun. Employees, our friends, our colleagues, they really want fun, right? It's the game. Gamification is the name of the game right now. So create fun, whether it's Weight Watchers. And again, I just put it in this way. It's not about introducing any brand or any company here. Or you can create the Biggest Loser program, right? If someone wants to lose weight, you name it in the way that works for you and for your employees, and reward them. Reward progress. It doesn't mean that the biggest loser may be someone whose weight is 150 pounds and that person actually lost 10 pounds, but for that person it will be important, those 10 pounds. For someone else it may be a different thing, and it's not about that, but it's how they feel and how they want to do that. All right, let's go to emotional well-being. What do we know? How much do we know about that? Emotional well-being, highlight this one, which is already highlighted. It is to successfully handle life stresses and adapt to change and difficult times. So it's about being able to adapt. It's about being able to handle those difficult situations, whether it's a difficult situation at work or in our private life. During COVID, we had a lot of difficult and stressful situations. People were getting sick, people were dying, and a lot of things happened that we didn't desire for, right? I want to make sure that emotional wellness, it's all about that. It's not only about thinking, oh, I'm healthy and I'm not depressed. It's not about that. It's about being able to handle those, knowing how to handle those stressful, difficult situations. Stress. How does stress impact our body? It actually impacts every single, organ in our body. It's the brain, it's everything. It's pretty much everything. When we get stressed, our body craves carbs. We put on weight. We have an increased appetite. Think about that. Many times, however, some people will say, when I'm stressed out, I can't eat. That happens too. People lose weight, right? So it's all depends how people react to it. For example, myself, when I'm stressed out, I cannot do any workout. I love to go for a walk or go for a run. When I'm stressed out, I have no energy to do that. Well, since we are talking about health, wellness, and the month of April 23rd is the Bring Your Child to Work Day. I don't know if you do any celebration of that type in the office or if you did in the past. I know we are not in the office yet, but some companies started to do that, bringing their employees back to the office. So the 23rd, probably this is the day, but if you don't do it, you may do some, online thing or some other activities. One of the companies I used to work for, just one, really did an amazing job with the Bring Your Child to Work Day. My daughter always, she loved it. They even got paid $10. Every child got a check for $10 because they were in the office and they were working hard, doing different things, right? So whatever the kids could do. Of course, there was a lot of candies and fun, but I want to tell you, this is something, a part or, activity that you can do. But always remember that your saved time, and I'm talking about saved, so the time when you are not commuting, because when you are working from home, you don't commute. Spend a little bit more time with your children, have breakfast with them, lunch, dinner. And remember, kids are also stressed out because of COVID and other reasons, that a lot of things happened in their life they don't understand, and they get nervous about that. Spend time during the mealtime with them. Think about when it comes to preparing snacks, think about those healthy snacks. Leave them instructions. If you are on a call, tell them, I will be on a call. Here's the food is in the fridge, or the snack is in the whatever on the kitchen counter. So they want to do it. And don't forget to celebrate birthdays. We did throw a birthday party for my daughter. She was 11 last November, and it was all on Zoom. It was amazing. We loved it. She loved it. It was a huge surprise for her. And we did that. So how can we when we talk about emotional health, what can we do? I prepared 18 different ways to help you and support you when it comes to emotional health. Think about healthy diet. For some people it works, may not work, but there are other things that may work for other people, like, for example, yoga, meditation, nature walks, journaling, writing every day. I have to tell you, I write every day. I'm grateful, and I write it in the way that what am I grateful for in a given day? I do writing. I didn't do it in the past. When I was in the corporate world, I didn't even know that such thing existed. Think about the morning, evening routines. What can you do? And I'm not only talking about brushing teeth, right? But it's a little bit of meditation, thinking about your day, thinking about your work. For some people, emotional health will be religious practice, which is great, right? I mean, all of those things, different things work for different people. There is 8 more. Forgiveness, gratitude, creating so-called me time. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's difficult. But even when we will go back to the office, think about that me time as well. For many people, when they get depressed, they don't see what's coming in the future. They just don't accept the future. For many people, the vision boards work really, really, really well. So they create those pictures. What do they want to achieve? What do they want to do in life? Also, what's important is make a decision in life. What do you want to do next? When it comes to your career, your family, other things that you want to do in life based on what your goals are and what's important to you. Okay, what can you do? Action items. Again, think about your employees. How can you help them? Whether it's a webinar, educational session, or other things that you can do for them. And all your employees will benefit. And I always talk about the fact that it's not only them, but their families, their children, their spouses, a significant other, parents, grandparents, everybody. Because if they are in their very best self, everyone else is actually feeling that positive energy. Let's not forget about the month of May is the Mental Health Awareness Month. Maybe you can create something fun for them. Contest, rewards, fun facts, different things. Again, we don't have to be in the office. We can do it online. And there is always something that companies can do to attract and also make it very enjoyable for their employees. All right. I want to talk about travel because some of my areas which I do, I actually focus on travel wellness, travel well-being. And because I used to be that frequent traveler who didn't have that kind of wellness, I didn't have that in my life. And my companies, the corporate companies I used to work for, neither of them, there was no such a thing like travel wellness program at all. So what is it? This is not something related to COVID. I want to highlight it. It's not related to COVID. This is something which I actually created even way before COVID. It's about understanding how every single trip takes a toll on your body. And it's not only about gaining weight. We gain, actually, when you think about it, we gain 1 pound per every trip. But the norm is we normally every person gains around 1 pound a year. So think about those frequent travelers who are taking more than one trip. They would put on weight 1 pound every time they travel, and then how much weight they gain. and look about the different things, how is our body impacted. And it's not only, again, about the weight. We are bloated, we are dehydrated, there is poor air circulation on the plane. There is new filtration system in place right now because of COVID. So you can only imagine what happened before COVID, right? How the airplanes were cleaned before that. I mean, many times we traveled, they were not clean, right? We know that. But now, I traveled during COVID, and I saw the cleaning, and I saw how clean the airplanes are right now, and I loved it. I absolutely love that. It gives you that confidence that you can actually travel and be safe. For corporations, what can you do? What should be the plan? So it's a I always talk about a 5-step plan for when you are implementing travel wellness. How should you do it? Where should you start? You are starting with employee survey, with the research. What do they want? How do they want the travel wellness? What do they want the travel wellness program to look like? They will tell you exactly what they need. You will need to review your travel policies if you already have in place, right? Sometimes you don't. That's okay. There are people who can help you with this. You can identify, negotiate travel wellness programs. That's what you can do with your existing suppliers, and also identify new suppliers that you should be working with. Create travel wellness kit. Give your traveling employees, especially even if they're not traveling yet, right? Because they will go back to travel. Create a wellness kit. Creating a program of that type takes time, and it's not happening overnight. So even if you think about letting your employees travel 3 months from now is the time to get them ready, to get your company travel ready. And that's important. Of course, communicate, educate, train. Your employees are counting on you. They need your help and support. So action steps. Actually, I went through them a bit. What do we have? Survey your employees again. Review your travel policies for wellness gaps. Negotiate new contracts, as I mentioned. Train your employees. Very important. They need to have that peace of mind. But they also need the tools that they need to travel with confidence, like the travel wellness kit, right? Implement the program. Communicate, announce, update your intranet, and do other things that you would normally do when you're implementing a new program. And today, actually, I want to introduce you with an offer. And this is something which you should be able to see on your screen. I prepared that especially for you. I call this, this is the gold, really, because when I mentioned those 5 steps to get your company and employees ready to travel in the new normal, this is something which I'm offering for the first time. And this is an online class. What you will get a webinar, video guide with comments, and also 5 bonuses. The value of that is the value is $1,000, but you are only paying $99. Again, you have a huge advantage before I go live with this package. And this is geared towards corporations, companies, private businesses, business owners, HR managers, if you have that. So what's included? Again, the video guide with comments. I will tell you, I walk you through all those steps, what you need to do, how you need to do it. But you also are supported because I'm providing you the bonuses. And everywhere it says bonus 111, right? But we know it's bonus 1, 2, 3, 4, of course. And what's included is the business travel lounge ROI calculator. It's very important because I'm showing you how you can save money. Sometimes on a trip, it's on a US domestic trip, it's a $500 saving. So think about it. If you can save on one employee $500, the $99 for this kind of guide and online training is actually nothing, right? Smart packing checklist. How can you get your employees ready? What should they be packing? You should take that checklist and implement it immediately. Put it on your intranet. What should they do when they are traveling? And it's not even about business travel. If you think about it, it's also about their private travel, vacation. We are getting into the spring break. We will soon be going on the summer vacation, getting ready to that. So I want you to think about that too. And of course, guide to how to avoid common contamination zones. I want you to think about that when we travel, the moment you leave the house? What are the common contamination zones? And it doesn't matter whether you are traveling. You may be taking metro, you may be taking a train, you may be taking a bus, even when you are doing your daily commute. So if you have your employees with you somewhere there, this is definitely something you should share with them. All right, let's talk about physical activity. Physical activity, and it's not only about going to the gym, but it's all about, when I talk about physical health and wellness, it's about body, and physical activity is a part of it, right? And it's not, it's about the healthy sleep, regular exercise, regular medical checkups. Ask yourself, when was the last time you went to and had your regular checkups? Done annual checkup. A lot of corporations are doing a regular blood test for their employees. Are you one of those companies who are doing this? When I was in the corporate world, I think there was one company who did that regularly, 1 out of 5. So it's not a lot, right? Think about other things that you can do for yourself. Let's talk about sleep for a minute. What does it mean, that the sleep is healthy? What is your sleeping regime or routine? What is your sleeping hygiene? You name it in the way you want it, but it's all about the same. And what I want to really highlight is that the very first step when it comes to your sleeping hygiene is the fact that you need to think and look at your bedroom. What's in your bedroom? What will impact your sleep? Because you should be sleeping for 7-8 hours without interruption. What can that be? And one of those things will be a TV, your computer, which may be constantly turned on, your cell phone. All of this should be turned off on silent and should not interrupt you with your sleeping patterns. Also, you should think about decluttering your bedroom. It's a space for peace and quiet, and it's a space for you. And it's important that you have that when you sleep and when you have that in your bedroom. Exercise. Exercise should not be something that we don't like doing. Exercise should be something that we enjoy. And it should be something that we can do regularly and something that we look forward to. I used to exercise 5 times a week. I used to go to the gym. I used to do boxing. Did I lose weight? Not so much, because I didn't combine it with the right diet or food. I used to eat a lot of processed food. And the moment I changed my diet, the moment I looked at the way I was exercising, I lost 15 pounds. And I never gained back those 15 pounds because I was able to find that balance between nutrition, food, and exercise. And again, for some people, going 5 times to the gym will do the trick, but for some other, it may be 10 minutes a day. So when you think about your company, what kind of exercise space do your employees have in the office when they go back to the office, right? Or are they doing anything at home when it comes to exercises? Are they taking break? Are they taking stairs and other things that they can do? So what are the action items? How can we help our employees? Provide access to the gym if you are not doing it yet, but really truly track the progress. You should think about what's how are they doing? Because many times corporations, and this I've seen it many times, corporations pay for the access to the gym for their employees, but the employees don't even do it. Why would you do that? Why would you waste your money in this way as a corporation? Incentivize your employees. Think about how can you actually make it fun, because the fun will work, right? If this is boring and so on, it's not. So I want you to think about how can you create a game, little competition? How can you incentivize your employees? One of those things maybe, which for some employees may be very important, is to decrease the health insurance premium. And I know some employees, they do exercise just because they want to pay less for that health insurance premium, which for some people is very important. All right, career. Let's focus and talk about career. Fall in love with your career again. The very first thing, and I always talk about it, is I want us to be grateful. I want us to think for and say thank you for what we have. We have a job, we have friends, we have colleagues, we have family. A lot of different things happened in the past year, 12 months, which we didn't wish for. And a lot of our friends lost their jobs, and different things happen to people. But how can we love and fall in love with our career again? How our employees can fall in love in their career again? Maybe it's about learning a new skill. It's maybe about the promotion that they've been waiting for a long time. It's maybe, creating a goal, a plan for them, something if they want to advance in their career. Maybe it's about creating a list of skills for them. What can they do today that they have not been doing yet, but they want to do it and they know how to do it? That, for some people, may be it. Many corporations, many companies, they like to incentivize their employees by giving them an extra day off. And that's okay, right? I mean, for a lot of people, this is something that is super important because they may not have a lot of time off or vacation time. How can you make your workplace better for you, work better for you? And if you are working at home, think about decluttering, having that space, making that space for yourself. Use a lot of fresh air as much as you can. Open the door, open the window. Use plants. They will provide you with the oxygen that you need. Go green, recycle. When it comes to the office, think about what's there. It's not only about your cubicle or your desk decluttering, but also your responsibilities, your goals in your career. Taking time off. A lot of people are not taking a vacation or enough time off. They work, and then they are surprised because they're stressed out and burned out. But also, we need to advocate for ourselves. We need to be able to say, we want to move on. We want to be promoted. We want to learn new skills if this is the requirement, right? To be able to be promoted or to do other things. Or maybe it's not a promotion, but a different scope of activities or responsibilities we can give to our team members, which will make them happy. Definitely something to think about. I also get questions about, Edita, how can we stay motivated? What can we do? Those are the three things I personally love. The power of decision. The moment we make a decision, our life changes. I highly recommend this book. Also, The Secret. The Secret changed my life. Amazing. If you don't like reading, you don't enjoy reading, you can watch it on Netflix. It's an hour and a half, like a movie that you can watch and actually quite learn a lot. It's about the law of attraction. If we are in a good mood, we will attract people, who are also in a good mood. If we need something and we send that message to the universe, rest assured you will receive that something which you desire. And a lot of course, I talk about the motivational music, which always puts us, energized in a good mood. Action steps. So what can you do today? All right, you can again create webinars, training, education to help your employees improve their work-life balance because they are important to us, right? They are the most important assets in our corporation, and we need to take a good care of them. And it's not about work all the time. Survey employees, ask them what do they want. Where do they want to see themselves 1, 3, 5, 10 years from now, and then help them to reach those career goals. You will have employees with different demographics. Their needs will be different. Again, the younger millennials, they may be thinking about moving fast and be promoted like immediately, right? Of course, they always want to be promoted immediately. But some other employees, their priorities probably are totally different, and they will be different. So ask them, what do they want? And then create that program for them. And of course, implement what's very important. Because many companies, I saw it firsthand, they ask the questions, but they do nothing about that. So they receive a lot of answers. Again, they do nothing with those answers. So take action. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about what we do as such a global. We support corporations, and I always talk about the Gold because the Gold is a free discovery session. It doesn't cost anybody anything, but it's talking, it's a conversation where we can talk about the needs, where we can talk about things that your company needs, your employees needs. We can talk about the programs. So what we do, we create employee training, educational webinars. And there are various topics. And one of the topics is actually 10 dimensions of health and wellness for you and your family. And what can you do about that? How can you be healthy? During those sessions, I really go deeper into each of that every single dimension and help them create the wellness health plans for themselves. Another presentation, secrets to stress reduction and mental health. So we talk about techniques. What can you do? Again, a deep dive into the mental health and well-being. We also talk when it comes to employee training, 10 strategies to get you ready for your next business trip. How can you get ready? What can you do? What should you take with you for your next business trip? We used to travel with our families, right? And we used to do some kind of a sightseeing and business trip at the same time. We don't do this anymore. Or are we ready to do it again? Who knows, right? There is also training for the executive team, the CEOs, the CFOs, HR managers, with regards to 5 strategies to create corporate business travel culture for the future. That's very important because, again, our travel and wellness during travel changes. Our needs change, of course, and we need to remember about that. But also 10 strategies to prepare your employees for, say, a safe return to the office. Are you ready? Do you have a plan? Do you need help with that? Let us know. What else do we do? How else do we support? We create employee surveys. So not only that we do the training, but we take a deep dive into the employees' needs, which we do on your behalf. And of course, it's not about, disclosing information to you who said what. We know that, right? But it's about being able to provide the survey, issue the survey, create the survey, but also analyze the results and help you create the plan. What can you do? What other programs can you implement? How can you implement the programs? Should you change the programs based on maybe demographics, maybe different needs, different goals of your employees? Many times I've seen those surveys and they are done and implemented in the same way for every single employee. Do they work? No, they don't. But you need to really think about, be creative and create something that will work. What else? How else do we support? We create and implement full wellness programs or travel wellness programs. So what does it mean? Again, we start with the survey of your employees, analyze the needs, and based on the needs, we create the processes, new programs, new procedures, because the needs is one thing. We also look at what you have already in place. Who are you working with? What are your suppliers? What kind of support are you getting from your suppliers today? We identify gaps when it comes to wellness. Do you have a travel policy in place if you are interested in implementing a travel wellness program? We will help you analyze those travel policies and identify the wellness gaps. Are you optimizing your suppliers? If yes, perfect. How do you know that you optimize the services that you are receiving from suppliers? Do you create your employees' communication, messaging? We do help with that too. And of course, we'll help you create a communication, also update internal system, train your employees, and do other tasks which are, of course, important to you. And last one is event planning. So I'm super excited because April 14th, we are running another webinar, how to optimize health and wellness for your hybrid events. I started getting a lot of requests about that, and I decided to put a webinar together for that to support more than one corporation at a time, right? So we'll talk about the wellness needs before, during, after your event. We'll train your employees. We'll look at tactics, wellness tactics and strategies based on the destination they will go to, the hotel, the air travel, the trip by plane or train or whatever it is, however they are getting there, whether they are driving, it's another way, right? We'll arm your employees with tools they need to travel safely, whether it's a travel wellness kit or something else, based on what you do. And of course, I'm always happy to be a guest speaker at your event and support you with other tasks which are important to you. This is it. This concludes my presentation. Again, I hope I was able to share information which was helpful for you. This is my contact details, so please don't hesitate to reach out directly to me. I will be here, to answer any questions you may have. Also, I'm here right now if you have any questions, so put them into the chat, please, so I can answer those questions and everyone else can hear the answer. But the thing is, I will be sending this presentation to all of you probably tomorrow. So you will be able to receive that and go back, look at that. Don't forget about the offer. I will send a link to that offer as well, because this is a very good and very inexpensive first step to take when you think about travel wellness. It doesn't mean you have to implement that, but of course, right now, right? But it will at least start to get you ready and start thinking about what is it that you need to do now to start thinking, even if you are doing that, let's say later this year, and so on. So it's very important. But some of the material which I provide there will help your employees to get back to the office when they are commuting, like we're talking about the contamination zones, and other things, right? So this is definitely very important. All right. I want to thank everyone, and I hope to see you and I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you very much.